Personally, I have no idea of what really went on their minds, because to me it was business as usual, and not knowing that others had plans about what should life be after Mujuru as Joice. And that one is a secret, I think, which manifested itself by then, telling me all sorts of stories. So that's when I got the surprise that whatever I was doing with the couple, saving under the man whom I had known since the struggle, was no longer appreciated. Of which, as things were unfolding and making appointments to meet Mr. Mugabe, there came a time when I asked him, why don't you just ask me to resign? Since I had mooted the idea of retiring. This is just before I became a member of parliament for Mount Darwin North constituency. And he said, you can't retire at your age when us, the elder ones, are still pushing on. And this time I said to myself, if there's anything wrong that I have committed, why don't you just call me home and tell me about that thing? Instead, he was even encouraging me to have a press conference and retaliate. And some of us, that's not our upbringing. And I told him, retaliating to what the First Lady would have said would mean I'm actually retaliating at you, and I don't want that. That's not my upbringing. So I left it that way, and I told him that if he needed me and he needed anything answered, I'll be residing at number 4 Springfield Road, Chisipiti, my house, and that's where I am. I don't have, unless they do have anything other than what they, lied upon. Because I'm saying lied upon because the team that they used to do the job paraded themselves, telling the whole world that they went through coaching, that this is how they were supposed to denigrate. And it means there is nothing. So I cannot react on nothing. And I said to myself, maybe that's what goes on with the office of the executive president, that when you think of trying to do away with certain characters, you can do what he did. So at the moment, I'm no longer, interested in thinking about what happened in the past. But that, to me, it looks like it's now a blessing in disguise, because I had not thought of coming up with a party that I will lead, a party that will then bring people of different backgrounds. And it's really something that I am happy about, that this happened to me, and I treated it so by just keeping quiet and leaving the, very same people to introspect themselves. Because if they thought those that they had coached were going to remain silent, it's unfortunate. They actually broke their silence, because I think someone they liked was now being attacked the same way I was. And to me, I'm just happy to then serve the nation of Zimbabwe as they are going to entrust me to do that if they do. I don't know. Maybe that's best known to him. But for him, maybe it became a threat to have a young vice president like myself, who would have been the immediate choice of the nation to, to lead them. And for him to leave his vice presidency to die in office, you knowing that these died of natural causes, because they, for instance, the Vice President Nkomo, I think he had seen his day, and God had gifted him with a gift of life. The same applies to Vice President Musika and Vice President Muzenda. We should say, all those died around their 80s plus, and one would say it was a gift of life. But for Joice, who is only 62, and maybe 31 to 32 years difference with Mr. Mugabe, that was bringing a lot of discomfort. That I wouldn't want anybody to take office whilst I'm still alive, or and having been changed within the party, which I think maybe that was his choice of actually, doing away with me. Characters differ. Others are afraid of being independent, exercise their capabilities, and others feel they might be victimized, and why not, keep away from all those shenanigans. But I can't blame them, because that's their own make. I can't blame them, and I would want to spend most of my quality time thinking about how we should be able to bring out the nation of Zimbabwe from this mess. Otherwise, if you start thinking of character X, character Y, you'll miss the boat, and you'll waste time on things that you'll never have good solutions on. And I'm not interested in actually spying or hunting down people or try to question them why they didn't do this, as if I am too special. I can only say I'm too special in the eyes of God, but maybe become too special when I try to serve the nation of Zimbabwe, well. So it's entirely up to them. Maybe that's what he felt would save his skin. I'm sure that's their choice of wanting to go it alone, or maybe that has always been their choice, because only moments ago my group was communicating with their team as to when they can meet and finalize those gray areas which they had left undone. And to me it means the discussions are still on. And to really say they are prepared to go it alone, if that's their choice, who am I to stop them? Is the preferred way of going for these elections. To us, it would fit very well with our main core value of being inclusivity, of coming out with a unit of purpose, so that this will also give confidence to our nation, which has suffered so much. And I'm sure with coalition, it would mean we are bringing a lot of minds, progressive minds, that have been left idle for quite a long time. And mind you, these are the people that are not only in the country, but these are people who are even without the country. We know diaspora is full of these. And we have been trying our level best as to how best we can tap into the diaspora. Because we know governments that are thriving because our children whom we have invested so much in giving education have actually sought greener pastures, not at their own volition, but it's because of the situation that is prevailing in the country. So with coalition, I'll be the most comfortable person. I'll be the happiest person that this will give a chance. This will give confidence. And I'm sure they would also trust us that we are giving them open arms to come and perform their best on their own soil. So one should not feel threatened. One should not feel uncomfortable, but instead should feel, contented that the brains that have been working for other economies are now coming back. And you know what it is? When you are working for your own country, when you know for sure whatever proceeds you are going to earn out of that, these are going to be invested within your soils, where nobody is going to be, pushing you left, right, and center. And I think we should be able to feel for those people that are in the diaspora, because our actions speak a lot about preventing them from coming home. But when we speak, showing them, discussing, showing them that we want, to work together here as politicians, opposition, political parties, it will then make them feel like they can as well come home and contribute. Let's look at the surroundings and the situation that is prevailing even within SADC. Governments that surround us, South Africa, Namibia, Mozambique, those that were with us in the trenches, we see who is on the throne. If you talk of Zambia, yes, the party that was ruling then, when we were a liberation movement, was beaten during elections. But we are saying we still have the unfinished business, which we should be able to lay out on the table and be able to say to even Zanu-PF, this is what should have been done. And that's where I think we have tended not to understand each other by these war veterans. And hence, in NPP, we decided to come up with an organ of freedom fighters. If you talk to them, their reference is on those that are in Frelimo, those that are in ANC, PAC, those that are in SWAPO, and so on. So you can see that they are the people that are still, expecting issues that were supposed to be resolved or worked upon soon after independence. And they are saying, okay, as much as we would want to work with the rest of the nation, but it's too soon for us to be able to say none of these people who have been in the struggle is in the administration. It's too soon. What we would want to see is a gradual mixing of those that have been in the struggle and those that have not been in the struggle. And it's not a matter of saying we don't want to be led by somebody who has not been in the struggle. But the way how things are done, the way how things are explained, seem to say otherwise. And one is surprised and say, if it's leadership that is supposed to come from the people and by the people, for the people, why would you as Joyce want to throw yourself to the people? Why don't you give a chance? Find a mechanism that would bring forth a character that is embracive. You can be able to understand why war veterans, why freedom fighters are saying, no. We would want to have somebody with that firm background. Like right now, we are the only party which has this revolutionary background. And we are telling the world, whatever Zanu-PF knows is exactly what we know. Our difference is he has just shown that he has nothing to do with us as war veterans. Not because of anything except what you, the world, have witnessed. The fights, neglect, and all sorts of actions. So, as NPP, we are saying our background is rooted in the armed struggle. That's our basis. We belong and we are coming from that far. Yes, we can be a new party that was created 2 years ago, but we are the very same persons that liberated this country. So people must understand, and we know where this train has actually, went off its wheels. And we want it to be returned by the people who understand why the struggle was waged, and a bitter one for that matter. This one is a serious issue, and we would want to show the world that we were not fighting a race, but we were fighting a system. And that's exactly what has brought us to where we are. We are not fighting Robert Gabriel Mugabe right now. We are fighting the system that he is using to divide and rule this country. And we will do that through the ballot. We are a party that is formed of people who are coming from the liberation struggle. And we also have experience of being in government. Personally, 10 years of experience as vice president, 24 years, 10 months as minister. Not just minister of women affairs. No, I've acted in defense. I have acted in agriculture. I have been Minister of Post and Telecommunications. And I've represented government in different international forums. So that's me. And when you want to talk of the revolutionary struggle, where things were tougher than what they were after independence, I have been leading the women's group. And not only that, when you are a leader, then you are a commander of everybody who is under you. So that included men as well. So for people to say Zimbabwe is not ready for a woman head of state, I'm sure they don't know what they are saying, because I've been leading them anyway. So urkuramba kudya ne nyama yehuku waseva muto. Actually, he must have had it as an afterthought to restrain. What he said is, go about beating people. And actually, it's a shame to hear a head of state encouraging children to go and maim each other. As a mother, I wouldn't want to see anybody maimed. And if I become head of state, I will not tolerate anybody who will cause havoc to a peaceful nation. We want people to live in peace. This nation is overstressed, not overstretched, but overstressed. And it's like he is going to light a matchstick at a gas station. What will happen? Had it not been that we are living in Zimbabwe where people are very well-mannered. Imagine in some other countries, which we are witnessing in the media, fighting even for the smallest thing that you can think of, let alone here in Zimbabwe, where people are even failing to access their own money from their own bank accounts. People are failing to take their loved ones to hospitals. People are failing to get even payments for their own produce at the Grain Marketing Board. And you now tell people to go and beat up each other, and then you report to the police. But he is forgetting again. This police I'm going to report to that I have beaten Frank could be Frank's uncle. What do you expect the police person to do or to say? That's breeding enmity amongst your own children. It's not creating a happy moment when you are saying things that will divide a family, let alone a nation. I think that's very unheard of. I've never heard such, unless he is trying to declare a war where there is no war. The biggest problem from NPP's point of view is the economy. And mind you, when the economy is not properly run, it's properly administered, social life becomes unbearable. And when social life becomes unbearable, the attitude of the people also is you can't read. You can't be sure of what the next day will be. And we are saying almost everything is very difficult to predict in Zimbabwe today, because nothing is properly structured, administered. You can't foretell. So, as we speak, you can't plan in Zimbabwe. And we can't complain that we are not having investors coming into the country. An investor would want to come with that full confidence of what he will get out of his dollar. Yes, few might come, but let's also look at those that have come. We are talking of investors that will come and give confidence in the nation, that will give us, opportunities to plan. And I'm saying, if you say the problem, you can't say Zimbabwe is free in terms of having its nation enjoying what it's supposed to enjoy. And mind you, the whole nation was involved in the struggle. And it was the struggle to have a peaceful life, an economy that will be predictable. As we speak, our banking system has collapsed. We don't have that. We don't have a currency. What a country are we that does not have its own currency? Yesterday, we had roads that had black tops. Where are they? We have destroyed that which Smith had developed. And it will take us long to bring back this country to where we found it in 1980. Yes, we can pride ourselves that we have given each other land, but what are we benefiting from that land? Land alone will not benefit our people. We should have an economy that should support farmers. An economy that should be able to grow its own youths. After finishing school, our children should actually know the program in which they are going to engage themselves. But today, see what happens when a child graduates. Going to sell juice cans? Going to be a combi driver? I know of graduates who are combi drivers today, and they don't drive all the time. They are given duties so that each one of them can have stipends to take home. So you can imagine Zimbabwe of all countries, with all the education, with all the mineral resources, with all the intelligent people that we have. Is this how we can be viewed? No, that's very disappointing, to say the least. I don't have to invent a will. There are certain things that Zanu-PF is shy of introducing. But as an opposition leader, those are the things that I will start with. I don't have to invent a will. I know where to start. I will know where to touch. I know the low-hanging fruits. Do you think if I get into office today, I will leave all those roadblocks, defacing our country? Not at all. Causing motorists to be in agony. No, I will not do that. There are a lot of things I'm telling you I will abolish within 1 week. And you will see it changing. But Mugabe's administration can't do it because they are the ones who manufactured those. So to reverse on them, it will be difficult. He's doing everything. He's even allocating urban land, which is not supposed to be handed over just like that. They are breaking every rule, every law that you can think of, just to get themselves back into the office. So, you would ask yourself, even that land which you have given people before, how is it being utilized? Why is it that you are not rationalizing that land so that those that need it would also get it? Because we have people who are not even working on their fields, and it's too big for them. I warned the nation. I took government to court, and people thought I was mad. Nobody came to my, help. You know what happens when you introduce bad money? It chases away good money. And this is what I warned them about. And you think if you introduce bond notes, they will turn into United States dollars. No, it's the opposite. And the unfortunate thing is, even those bond notes, they are not being found. Today, when people go to take their wages, what is happening? You go and, stand in a queue from midnight till 3 o'clock in the afternoon and only come out with $20 coins. What is it? Actually, as a party, we have become quite open with our youths and also the youths in general that these are the people that have been robbed of their future. And for them to stop that, they actually have to come out in their big numbers. We know they hold the largest population as youths. And they are the ones who are really facing the raw end of the stick. And for them to be liberated, nobody is going to do that except themselves. They must come out in their thousands to register and then go and inspect the voters' rolls and go and vote on the day of voting, because they should be able to make a statement that they will be voting for a change of what is happening in this country. They will be the people who will be making a statement that they don't want to see their future being destroyed whilst they are watching. They have watched before, and these are the results. So if they continue to feel like they are not interested, then I'm sure they will have lost it. Because they should know that when they are voting, he is voting for his job. He is voting even for good roads that I've spoken about, good schools. He is voting for a peaceful country. In fact, he'll be voting for all the positives that we are yearning for. And they are the ones who are in majority who can help us achieve that. I'm 62. My daughter is close to 40. And you can imagine, her son, her daughter is 18. And today, if you try and ask that granddaughter of mine who is 18, have you ever seen your mom getting ready to go to work? She'll say, work? Or you are now saying she's the one who is now assisting you at the farm because she can't find work anywhere. So that's the situation that is in this country. And I'm talking of a girl who is 18, but I am not talking of her mom who has no experience of even planning for her own life. This is how we have destroyed this country. And I wouldn't want, and that's why I'm speaking with this emphasis, that okay, I have made my mistakes before, I have learned my mistakes, and I wouldn't want to continue making those mistakes. CORD is not a party. It's a grouping that has brought these parties together. And when we decided that we also want to join CORD, we felt we needed to have an understanding with other parties and on a bilateral basis. And the MOU that we signed with MDCT allows us to do that. We want to do certain things with deep-rooted understanding of how it will work when we are in that situation, especially when we join CODE. And in NERA, mind you, bilateral agreements are not being forced upon. It's the choice of a party that would want to go to bed with party X. So if their understanding is to go and join hands with MDCT, we wouldn't begrudge that. That's what they feel like doing. And mind you, these two that we have signed MOUs with, no, they are not MOUs, they're actual agreements. They have war backgrounds. It's made up of people who have been in the struggle, like us. So it's the old boys and girls that are finding each other and would want to create a common ground from which we should fight from. So if it's difficult for those that have come from the trade union background or with a trade union background, and they find comfort to work with President Tsvangirai, we'll leave them to do that. It's their choice. But I think it's better said than done. It's us who are in this field playing this ball or this game, and we are feeling how things should go and moments that we should take in accomplishing certain issues. So as much as others would say you are late, others would say wait, and it's us who are in it, who really are studying the situation. And we know what we have to come up with should be a situation that will be welcome by most Zimbabweans. Are you thinking of having a situation where you are independent, so to speak, you are able to think and plan, or you are thinking of material things? Because if people continue to think of material things, that's where you are getting shoddy deals. Yes, we have seen this happening, where people have been allocated stands, and come the next morning, bulldozers are taking down your house, or Murambatrina is applied on you. These are short-term deals. And we are saying, we are for giving people independence, confidence. We want them to know why we did what we did of going to fight a system. We know why we would want those very same people, after you get your education, how you should be able now to utilize that for your own good. You shouldn't have a situation where someone is bringing you things which you don't know where they have come from. How do you feel when you are head of a family and you don't know when your family is going to get its next meal? A balanced meal for that matter. How do you feel when you can't even come up with something that will make you feel, now I can feel my dignity is back? We want to bring back that dignity. We want you to sharpen your brains and become one of those who can get this Zimbabwe into the future. Handingafari ni kukuona murume mukuru akadai wakamirira kagara nekechibage with no money to send that maize to the miller, with no plan of what to give to your family. Actually, it's very disappointing to see men and women of good reputation being given cups of rotten rice. After all, you get it through discriminating other people because you don't belong to party X. Is that how we would want to see this country run? Does that show we are building a united nation of Zimbabwe? No. That's not Zimbabwean culture. That's not what we expected to see in this country. We expected to see a united people of Zimbabwe. We expected to see a developed Zimbabwe with a lot of friends who will come genuinely wanting to see this country developing. Not seeing people who will bring their kith and kin to come and make tea for them, to come and clean their cars, as if we don't have Zimbabweans who can make tea, who can clean the cars. That's not what we expected. In fact, as freedom fighters, we are angry. That's not what we expected. And we must be honest enough to face the truth. If there are wrongdoings, they have to be, said out. Tisavunjire chironda chenjinda. Let's not cover up a cancerous sore. It has to be cleaned and treated. And this is what we are looking for.
These and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.